I'm Anushka.
And I'm Victoria Quintero.
Today we are here to talk about Google. So before we start with our presentation, can I ask you something? How many of you use Google service to make your presentation? Please raise your hand. Awesome. And now tricky one. Is Google a verb or a noun?
Ooh,
Think
I
about
love
it.
this question. I love this question.
Think about it. We will get back to this at the end of the presentation. So without further ado, let's please join us on a ride to know all about Google. So what is Google? Google is a mathematical expression which is 10 power of 100, that is very exponential. Google is an American multinational corporation which specializes in internet-related service and web-based products. Google was founded on 7th September 1998 by these two gentlemen, Larry Page and Eric Brin. I think we should thank them for making our life very easy. Google aim is to organize all information and make it universally accessible and useful. Google abruptly renamed itself Alphabet in 2015, making Google as a subsidiary.
So, about the location of Google, we all know that Google is all around the world because internet. But the location, the specific locations are 52 locations. We can see the red dots are the specific locations. So we can see that Google is in Latin America, is in Asia, is in Europe, and also is in Africa. But the main quarters are in Mountain View, California. This is the building. It's called Googleplex. It's a very fun building with a lot of colors. So now we're going to talk about the products and services. Google has offered a lot of online products and services. They have 150 products. So today we're going to talk about this one specifically. I'm going to start talking about Google Translate. Google Translate is a service that is used to translate different languages, and us like no native American speakers, we use this app a lot to translate words that we don't know. I find it very useful for everyone. Also, this app can translate more than 103 languages. Amazing. And then I'm going to talk about Google Drive. Google Drive is a cloud-based storage service that helps us save files like photos, Google presentation, Google Docs, Google numbers. So an interesting fact is that the logo of Google Drive, all the colors have a meaning. So the green means Google numbers, that is here. The yellow one means Google presentation, and the blue ones mean Google documents. This is very interesting because when we were researching, Anushka and I know this background. We were like, wow, we didn't know that these colors have a meaning in the logo. So Anushka will.
I will talk about three services which I use frequently. First one is YouTube. I think this is the best service of Google. YouTube is the one who entertains me, educates me, and it provides an ideal platform for someone who wants to showcase their talent. Now Gmail. Like any other Google service, Gmail has that ease of use. I believe most of you have Gmail ID or have used Gmail account. Third one is pronunciation. I would say Google pronunciation is my second teacher after Miss Adrian.
So now we're gonna talk. I am gonna talk about strengths. Google being one of the market leader in search engineers. Google has nearly no competition. They are one of the biggest. They have, I think, that 88% of the market. They lead that market, so it's impressive. Also, digital advertisement is the biggest source of revenue from Google. This also is called Google Ads. So a lot of companies use Google Ads to promote their business, and this is a very useful tool of Google. the adoption of Android and mobile technologies. The mobile technologies, the phones and the software that the phones have, is one of the best-selling OS service, and they have more than 2 billion active users per month. And also they have more than 3 million apps in their store of apps. So the revenue growth. We can see in this chart how every year the revenue and profit is constantly growing. We can see that they have 1.8 millions of dollars in revenue and income, and 146 billions are from advertising. That is impressive. And for the last one, brand recognition. Google is a well-known brand and is very successful because their simple colors and signature logo, the colors of Google, as I said, and also the G is everyone can notice that by the colors is Google. So very interesting.
Let's talk about Google weaknesses. Number one is privacy concern. To create that ease of use, Google records almost all actions and information. Sometimes I feel it is storing way too much information that makes us really vulnerable to identity theft in this digital world. Censorship of data. Being de facto search engine, Google has been notorious about hiding some top search results, thereby manipulating us what we see. Creating monopoly market. It means market with one choice only. Google exploits its advantage unfairly by preventing the entry of new players or new competitors in the searching sector. Google, it means reducing our choice. I will give you one example. I remember I heard from my husband that Google has bought Waze Maps. It is the one example of monopoly market. Overdependence on, overdependence on advertisement. As in earlier slide, Victoria showed you that around 75% of revenue comes from the advertisement, which is it is over reliance on one market is not advisable for such big company like Google. Employee issues. Google CEO Sundar Pichai recently publicly accepted that company was dealing with employee discontent. Shocking for me that people working in Google, they are not happy with it. In November 2018, more than 20,000 employees walked out from their offices to protest against sexual assault and other forms of alleged misconduct. Sadly, this is the hidden truth of most corporates, but never expected Google to have this as a privilege. Censorship of data. To being de facto search engine, Google has been notorious about hiding some information, which means manipulating what we see. Dragonfly project in China is a one instance where Google censor out all information about highlight human violation activities in China and Hong Kong.
So now I am gonna talk about the future. The future of Google is very bright. Technology is gonna still be improving and improving and improving. The increase of market share into iCloud services. As I said about Google Drive, this is an example of cloud services. Cloud services are online storage that we can use to save information, save documents. So they will continue to invest in this type of services, so that way people can access their information in a more faster way without having their devices having too much storage, so they only go to these online services and take their documents or see or use it. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, and emerging techs. Artificial intelligence are the computers, our smart phones, our smart clocks. These will continue also improving, continue being, Google will continue improving their services, so we will see a lot of new machines, new technology. They want to create a wearable technology, and also in the future probably we can say cars with the Google brand. So Google will impress us with all the technology that probably in the future we'll have. And the last one, preserve of environment. Oh, we all know that our environment is in constant damage. We are trying to improve and save it and take care of our environment, but there are so many things that have been affected. So Google is creating panels. It's creating a renewable energy panels, so that way we can reduce the carbon dioxide. So it's also showing us that Google care about our environment and will be caring also about the new technologies that they will be releasing. So here you have all the reference that we use to our presentation and our information. And oh, okay. So this was the slide of conclusion. So in conclusion,
It is no-brainer to admit that Google is important technology in modern life, but there are some cases where it can be biased with its searches. So whether Google is a basic necessity or master manipulator, future is definitely going to have Google for now.
so you can see in all of our presentation, Google needs to improve on their weaknesses about censorships, about the employee issues to become the greater leader that Google is as a company. And I think that we can see Google being improving and being one of the biggest company in the world. So,
And finally, at my initial point, we all know the word or name Google is a noun, but nowadays it has become more of a synonym for search.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or hence it is becoming more of a work for me.
yeah.
Okay, Google.
Okay,
Say thank you.
Thank you very much.